how's it going today? So I got an amazing mini album to show you. Of course, they're all mini albums, but this one I really love because it is using the Once Upon a Time paper stack that is very old. Honestly, it's been part of my collection since about, I want to say maybe 2008, 2009, so it's quite a bit old. And funny story is I have done a few albums with this, but every time I make one I'm like, oh, it's not good enough, or it's not what I imagined, you know. And the first paper pad that I had of this, I absolutely mangled it, because when you first start out scrapbooking, you really don't know what you're doing with paper, so you don't appreciate the beauty of it, and you know, you're just kind of like, oh, this is a nice paper, I'm just gonna scrapbook with it. But once you find like those once-in-a-lifetime gem papers, you know, if you really scrapbook, you know what I'm talking about, where you're like, ooh, do I use this now or do I use this later, you know. And so that's kind of what this whole paper pad was for me. So I was fortunate enough to get another paper pad. I think my mother-in-law had one hiding in her stash, and it was full brand new, completely like untouched. And so here are some of the patterns, and like I said, I've done a few other albums using this paper pad, and it was one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites. I think because it was my first paper pad ever that was actual cardstock and not just paper, you know, like play paper, I guess I could call it. But then around the time I got a hold of that paper pad, I got a hold of this DCWV one, because they're both DCWV, but this is their newer version of it. And so they added new patterns and kind of revised the old ones, and it's not as glittery as the old one, but still beautiful and almost has the exact same pages. So I am excited to show you what I did with this one. I feel like finally I did justice to this album, or to the paper itself, and so I'm excited to add this to my collection. Again, I don't know if I'm going to give it away or not, because it is one of the more gorgeous ones. But anyways, I'll go ahead and give you the dimensions real quick before I start talking about the cover. So I really love to make albums that are 7.5 by 5.5, and this one is that size. So the cover is 6 by 8, and of course it is using the six page binding that I do. And before I get started on the inside, let me go ahead and show you this cover. Like, I absolutely adore what I did with this cover. I used a laser cut wood pennant, and then I added, this is just a dollar store sticker if you can believe it or not, but I added these flat back pearls and some stained glass in the back, as well as these foam roses on the spine. I did make a little bit of a charm with a little crown in there. And then here's the back of that paper, just so gorgeous and sparkly. And one thing about this album, because every time I use that paper pad, I feel like the edges need to be distressed. Like, that's just no question about it. So, needless to say, this album took me a while because I had to distress every paper, then every paper on top of that. I inked around some edges. I didn't ink around everything, but I did ink around some. So when we first opened this page, I did want to start with the Once Upon a Time up here, and of course the castle, and I kind of like wanted to make it in the way of like opening up the castle gates, you know, and then you can put a picture here, but that's kind of where I was going with this page in particular. And then right here you see like there's a photo frame, and it is pop dotted, so you can fit a photo in here. This is a 3 by 5 that'll fit, and you can still see it beautifully. Right here, I cut this out from Design Space. It's the Art Nouveau cartridge. I don't know if it has a code or whatnot, but that's what cartridge I remember that it was from. And then here's a spot for some little photos. And then I just added some stickers I had in my collection. And then this is some little corners that I cut out as well, with just some clip art roses here. And then just a little stamp tag that I had in my collection. And that one I did ink. But oh my gosh, when I say I finally did this album right, I finally did it. And I think it was partly because now I kind of knew where I was going, as well as I was able to navigate Design Space a lot better than last time. And so anyways, I cut this little fairy medallion out put the word forever on vinyl on this little banner. And then I just added some little pearls right here. And I put this on the treasure page because, you know, like fairies and maps, I feel like they kind of go together as well. And then here's another fairy on this page with the word magical. This one kind of was a little bit busy, but needless to say, I feel like I saved it because I did not like it when I first made it. I just kept revamping it. And so I'll give you a little close-up. The word magical right here. And I think what my mistake was is I cut the word magical too dark. And I added a little bit of white right here to kind of bring it out from the gold in the background. And then, of course, these were all, I felt like that was all too busy right there. But I feel like in the end, the page came out beautiful. And then here, I wanted to do a little scroll with the little feather pen and the word thankful. And then I added some little tags that you could write on here. And then up here it says, I just want you to stay. So here's the, and then of course that paper in the background is a little scroll itself. So I thought that was perfect. And then for this page, oh, this one's my, it's so beautiful. But I also really loved stained glass. I did some stained glass projects when I was in high school, and I wish I would have kept them. I don't know what happened to them, but I will always love stained glass. And so anyways, this word right here says my own fairy tale. I didn't want it to distract too much from the beauty of this page, so I just left it kind of dark and plain. And then for this one, I added a little gold foil paper with this dollar store sticker thing. Like, if you find these at your dollar store, I would recommend picking them up. I love the antiqueness and like bling it gives things, because it just looks so sturdy and heavy and, you know, metal, but it's actually just like this little rubber sticker, and I just love it. Alright, so for this page wasn't part of the collection, but I thought it fit perfectly. I think it's like a graphic 45 paper, single paper that I had, and I wanted to go ahead and add this little die cut right here where it says be happy, be bright, be you. And then here again is that crown paper that's right here, but this time I added a little texture right here and some words that say love is that condition in which the happiness of another person is essential to your own. I really love that saying. And then this again was another DCWV paper pad that I thought fit perfectly because I really liked the richness of the roses. And then I just added some texture and little clip art down here. And then this one, again, like I said, these are those dollar store stickers. Like, if you guys haven't been to your dollar store lately, you guys are sleeping on it, because they have some good stuff now. Like, compared to like the early 2000s, we're talking about a whole new world of stuff. And so anyways, this one, the frame is open on the back, so you can slide a photo there. Alright. And then here is my all-time favorite page right here. I did work a lot on it, only because I cut this out using the Art Nouveau paper pad, and then I cut it a little circle to kind of fit the shape of what this was, and it's kind of like a frog lily pad paper. And then I cut this really beautiful tag on this rose gold paper, and then we have two little 4x6 photo mats, but it is magnetized shut, so that way it stays like that. But oh, I just love the beauty and simplicity of this little cut. It's just so gorgeous. And then right here we just have the word memories on top of a plain tan paper, because this was already busy, so I didn't want it to compete together. Alright, and so here is the end of the page. And like I said, these stickers bring like some sort of amazing antiqueness to your album if that's what you're looking for. And so again, I just made it a double gate page with the pumpkin, kind of like, you know, nighttime at midnight is what I'm thinking of. And then I just added right here, good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know they're always there. And of course it has little stars on the paper, so I kind of did that on purpose. And then here is the last of that paper right here. And so that's what that looks like. But I absolutely love this album. Like I said, it might be hard to give away if I do end up deciding to give it away, but for as long as it took me to make this album right, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So anyways, I hope you guys love this album as much as I do, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!